Shalom. First and foremost, we want to give all praise, glory, and the highest honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, and Hakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect of the Hebrew Israelites. Welcome today with the brother Gamar and brother Nakar. And we're going to go into the lesson that how you have to, watch carefully who you spend your time with, and also that the men of the Lord, usually we are so-called loners. We don't have a multitude of 500 different friends that we just spend our time around with, just laying around and hanging around, I should say, and just wasting our time. But we are men of mission, men of purpose, so we keep our tight circle. We keep our circle tight. That's what I wanted to say. So we got some scriptures. So we're gonna just go straight into it. So brothers, whatever scriptures you have, whatever you wanna say, just bring it out.
So I got one right here I want to open up with. This is in the book of Proverbs of King Solomon, chapter
Mm.
18, verse 24. A man that has friends must show himself friendly, and there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. See, so the point right here it says a man that has friends because us Akio man, we have developed a lot of relationships in the world, co-workers, with neighbors, Jake like talking, Jake like talking, having a good time. You might know your bouncer, you might know the manager at your local restaurant. Yeah, you got to be friendly with these people, man, but you can't put your trust, okay, like you put your trust on a brother. That's why it says right here, you must show yourself friendly. Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, how are you, how was your day, so on and so forth. But then it says right here, and there is a friend that sticketh closer than a brother. So who is that friend? Well, the scriptures speak about in the book of Isaiah, the Most High uses the like metaphor, like Jake is not only a friend, but he's also a brother. So Israel's like unto a friend to the Most High. Real quick, this is John 15 and 14. You are my friends if you do whatsoever I command you. Henceforth I call you not servants, for the servant knoweth not what his Lord doeth. But I have called you friends, for all the things that I have heard of my Father I have made known unto you. So you can't vibe with these people in the world like you vibe with the brother, man, or with the brothers, plural. See, so you have to take into consideration when you're in the world, the conversations that you have with the worldly people and the convos you have with the brothers, man. You got to be careful how you speak to the worldly friends and friends with the and the faith.
Yeah, yeah, and also to not just trust anyone. Not to talk too much of your personal affairs to just anyone. Hey, that's not good because it can come back to bite you. And so a friend in in the Latin languages, okay, in it, because it goes to the word brother. Because in Italian, you want to say brother, you say fratello, okay, and
Fratello.
in the French, if you want to say brother, the word is actually frère, okay. Mon frère it means my brother. So it has developed into the word friend, okay.
Hmm.
And as you saw in the scriptures, the friendship, the brotherhood with King David and Jonathan, the son of Saul. They were very very good friends, man. They were good brothers, man. You know the scriptures say that the brotherly love that they had was even stronger than you have with a woman. And then you have some of these fucking Christians saying that they were most. No, they were not rainbow people, man. It's just a brotherly love, brotherhood.
Yeah,
You know.
which the word love in that context is where you get the word Greek word agape or intimacy. Agape intimacy, which means a very strong bond. You see, so the bond that we have with brothers, man, is not the same bond we should have with the people of the world. Because the people of the world they're gonna bug you out if you stay there any longer. Like we read earlier, if you stay too long with the stupid people, man, you're gonna end up like them.
Hey, you want to get that actually in the NLT, in the GNT, the one in Cyrac?
Yeah, I got that right here. It was say rack 6 and 7.
No, no,
Oh,
27
say
and
rack
12.
27 and 12. When you find yourself with stupid people, look for some excuse to leave. but when you are with serious-minded people, stay as long as you can.
Yeah, bro. So
Hey, I got a scripture out
yeah,
for
back it
that
up,
one.
bro.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 20. He that walketh with wise man shall be wise, but a
Mm.
companion of fools shall be destroyed. So just like how you brought it up in Iraq, if you hang out with a lot of stupid people, you're like, you're already wise, hanging out with wise people. Then when you hang out with like people that are stupid, you're gonna be like, you know what? I gotta get out of here. You're gonna be polite about it. You're not gonna let them know, but you're gonna be like, you know what? I gotta leave.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, bro, Nakar, can you read that scripture again, Babukasha?
Yeah. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 20. He that walketh with wise man shall be wise, but a companion of fools shall be destroyed.
Gone, gone. Hey, that's it. And hey, as the brother Gamar read in Sirach, it says, when you're with stupid people, when you're with the indiscreet, it says in KJV that observe the time, okay? You don't want to be there more than you wish because you get infected, okay, by their energy, by their aura. So you have to find a way to live, okay, that you're not gonna spend the whole day, okay, maybe some time, some hours, but then hey, I gotta go, and then you because hey, in this we as a nation we are holy, but more so the hopeful elect in our quest for salvation, we in a holy mission. Okay, holy means separate, so we cannot be out there, marching, at the manifestations, protesting, for
Mm.
Ukraine or Palestine out there. It just completely, lost in the multitude of people. Now we have to be separate from that, worldly madness. So brothers got it.
God, and I have one right here. I don't have it on deck, but I could remember. I think that's in Ezekiel. It goes into how being holy also means to be separate. This is a book of yeah. This is actually in the letters of Apostle Paul, 2 Corinthians 6:17. Wherefore it says, come out of come out from among them and be ye separate, saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you, man. So that's spiritual, man. An unclean thing could be just a convo that you might be having with a worldly friends, and the convo could lead to maybe like a going into like lusts of the flesh, maybe speaking about how you're boasting about who drinks the most beers, in 1 hour. See, we're boasting about different worldly things. So it's not good to be amongst that because it might lead to like maybe like pride. You might have that proudful spirit. See, so it's always good to know the time and the season of what you're talking about.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. That's
Mm.
that's right, bro. So this scripture in Sirach chapter 6, verse 34. Stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto him that is wise. Be
Mhm.
willing to hear every godly discourse, and let not the parables of understanding escape thee. And if thou
Mm.
seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. Okay,
Uh,
so
Mm.
you want to spend time with individuals, that that
Mm.
speak the words of wisdom. Okay, and how you able to uh, uh, stand in the multitude of the elders and cleave unto them that is wise. And we have the YouTube. You can go and listen to the elders and apostles. They make videos. They go to camp every Saturday and they make individual videos. Last week I was listening to these long videos from Elder Apostle Tahar. 4-hour videos. 2.5-hour videos. It's, so it's like you having a conversation, or it's almost that you in the room just listening to the Elder Apostle Tahar speak. Okay, and you get edified in that wisdom, you get built in that wisdom. Okay, so this is what it means. You want to be influenced by these powerful men of the Lord, man. So go ahead, Akim.
Yeah, man, because what the elders teach us mainly is the doctrine of Yahweh Shai, and the doctrine of Yahweh Shai is not to be carnal. The scripture speak about he that is carnal minded is enmity against the Most High. Because in this world, man, it's easy to get what they call road rage. Somebody cuts you in line. You might be waiting in line for like 20 minutes, and you're about to be next to pay, and then somebody cuts you in front. What are you gonna do? Be carnal or be spiritual? Are you gonna let it go, or are you gonna go up to the individual and cause a strife or contention? And real quick, this is Proverbs 20 and verse 20 and verse 6. Yep. Most men will proclaim everyone on one his own goodness, but a faithful man who can find. It says right here, give me a second, I'll get my hat on deck. Oh, right here, verse 3, Salakia. And the title reads Warnings and Instructions. It is an honor for a man to cease from strife, but every fool will be meddling. See, so right here it says it is an honor for a man to cease from strife. So, like I was giving the example of the elders, they always teach us about not being carnal. That road rage demon, or the somebody cutting you in line demon. It's easy to get carnal with them, but if you're a man of honor, a man of integrity, yeah, you're gonna stay away from that bullshit, man. You're gonna fuck that, man. I won't just let it go, because you might end up, getting carnal, and there's consequences. And it says right here, but every fool will be meddling, and the word meddling goes into like pretty much contention, going back and forth, arguing with each other, and amplifying, your spirit. And it says right here, verse 5. So in the heart of man, it's like deep water, but a man of understanding will draw it out. So it's important to be amongst the elders, man. Listen to their wisdom, because they've already been through those experiences of meddling with people in the world, and it doesn't get you nowhere, man. It might lead you to jail, prison, fucking in the coffin, So it's not wise to, especially in these times, be circumspect to be arguing with whatever person out there, man, for no reason.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, bro, Nakar, can you get the scripture where it says that King Solomon says that out of 1,000 men he has found one good, but out of 1,000 women he found none.
Yeah, I got it.
God.
Out of 1,000.
Ecclesiastes 7:28, bro.
There you go, 728.
Yeah, Ecclesiastes 7:28. You can
This is
start
the
a
book.
verse before that.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 7, verse 27. Behold, this have I found, say the preacher, counting one by one to find out the account, which yet my soul seeketh, but I find not. One man among 1,000 have I found, but a woman among all those have I not found. Lo, this only have I found, that Yahweh have made man upright, but they have sought out many inventions.
So what this shows is, as Elder Apostle Gabar always says, this is a narrow path. This truth is a narrow path, and we hopefully, like, we are rare breed. So you're not gonna be just going to your boxing gym, and all the men out there are men of the Lord that you can just trust. Or you at your workplace, let's say you work with a lot of different Jakes. It's not that like in a warehouse, let's say in a big warehouse, there's thousands of employees. It's not that you can just trust every single Jake male that is out there, man. Okay.
Yeah, and I just wanna paraphrase a quote a lot of brothers know about him, David Goggins, and he said out of every 100 man, he wrote 10 shouldn't be there, 80 are just targets, 9 are real fighters, and we are lucky to have one of them, for they make the battle. Yeah, but only one is a warrior. See, so you might have a, a thousand men, like we just read in Ecclesiastes. You know, a lot of them shouldn't even be there, man. Like, 10 men right here could be too effeminate. 10 men right here might not have integrity, not honor, but only one of them is that rare breed that Rocky was talking about, man. And that rare breed is what we want to potentially be, man. Be amongst those men, which is really the house of David.
Yeah, that's right, bro. Even Yahushua said it. Okay, this is Matthew 12 and 47. Then one said unto Yahushua, Behold, thy mother and thy brethren stand without, desiring to speak with you. But he answered and said unto them, but he answered and said unto him that told him, Who is my mother and who are my brethren? And he stretched forth his hand toward his disciples and said, Behold, my mother and my brethren. For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same is my brother and sister and mother. Okay, so the people we only can trust are the bros that are in this truth. And even then, you still have to prove a friend, man. If you can, Brogan Mar, get that next. Not only because someone says, they're in this truth. Even in this truth, there are some agents. Okay, and there are some men that are not, trustworthy. So even then, because many are called, but few are chosen. Okay, so even then, you still have to examine and approve a friend, as the bro is gonna read.
God, and I'll start in the context. This is Ecclesiastes 6 and verse 5. The point is in verse 7, but I'll start verse 5. It says, Sweet language will multiply friends, and a fair speaking tongue will increase kind greetings. Verse 6. Be in peace with many, nevertheless, have but one counselor out of 1,000. Yeah, and that counselor that goes into Yahushua, man. That's our main counselor that we have to seek for. Verse 7. If you would get a friend, prove him first and be not hasty to credit him.
Yeah.
So how do you prove a friend, man? Well, it's not simple. You gotta the scripture speak about take heed to the flock of thy pastor. So you gotta make sure that friend is consistent with his word. So it could be, for example, even StreamYard. Sometimes you're gonna show up to StreamYards at 1 p.m. The brother shows up around 1:10. Okay, but he shows up, and that's an example of a man who's proven himself. You know, does a man go to the highways and hedges every season, winter, summer, spring? The 4 seasons in a year. Okay, that's a man that's proven himself. So it develops. You gotta develop a friend. Really, you gotta see his consistency, his perseverance. So that's one of the ways you prove a friend.
Yeah.
Is he on time? Is he reading? Is he making his lessons? Does he take rebuke? Is he repenting? There's different qualities of how you're able to prove a man.
Yeah. Yes, as how I said, those are my family who do the will of the Father. And if you do the will of the Father, you have faith, the works are gonna be there. Okay, so there's a scripture that says you can know a tree by its fruits.
Mm.
Nakar Babuk Shah, if you can get it. Yeah. Yeah, it's in Matthew somewhere. I know in Matthew somewhere.
It's the book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 16. The book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 16. You should know them by their fruits. Do man gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit. Every
Yeah.
tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewed down and cast into the fire. Wherefore, by their fruits you shall know them.
Mm.
Yeah. You wanna speak on it, bro?
Yeah, so pretty much, a person that has good fruits, their works, they're not gonna bring evil. They're not gonna be around evil people, or if they're teaching someone, they're not gonna teach them to be evil. They're gonna create them by the fools. It's like how there's that saying in the world, show me your friends and I'll show you who you are. You are who you hang out with. So just like it said in the book of Proverbs, he that is wise will be with wise man. the person that hangs out with wise man will become wise, and he that becomes hangs with fools will be destroyed. Just like an evil tree cannot create good,
Yeah,
it will
that's
only
right,
create
bro.
evil.
That's right, bro. That's right. So, this is Sirach chapter 6. I'm continue where the brother left off. So, verse 8. For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. Okay, so there are some people that, hey, when you're doing good, they say your money is up. Hey, you find that you just have friends around you, man. You go to the bar, you can pay for them and stuff. You know, hey, the drinks are on me. Hey, the table is full. But then when you're having a tough time, you know, she's struggling with the finances. Then you see that, hey, he's fucking lonely at the moment. So, hey, these type of friends, you know, a gold digger friends. That's because that's normally a term for females that look for, you know, these rich men only for the money. But there's also this kind of, you know, so-called gold digger friends that, you know, want to hang out with rich people because, you know, they have money. Maybe they have a nice boat that you can go to the ocean with in the summer, and, you know, just, you know, take advantage of the money. But if they're not doing good, you just go away. You know, it's not that's not right, man.
Yeah, kind
Okay.
of. Also, they might have a lot of like clout. You know, they might have a lot of followers, a million
Yep.
followers. You know, they're only there because, oh, look, he has a lot of followers, so I want to follow him.
Yeah.
So that's another example.
Yeah, that's right, bro. Sirach 6 and 9. And there is a friend who, being turned to enmity and strife, will discover thy reproach. Okay, so I guess say it's a brother, you know, you know, trust him, you tell him some things maybe about your, you know, youth or whatnot, and then that dude becomes your enemy, and, you know, just, you know, spills all of your, you know,
Beans.
yeah, spills all the beans, you know, about things that you wanted to keep private and stuff like that, and then you just shaking your head that, hey, this motherfucker, you know. And you know, verse 10 again, some friend is a companion at the table and will not continue in the day of thy affliction,
Mm.
but in thy prosperity he will be as thyself and will be bold over thy servants. If thou be brought low, he will be against thee and will hide himself from thy face. Okay, it says, separate thyself from thine enemies and take heed of thy friends. A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that has found such an one has found a treasure.
Mm.
Nothing
Hmm.
does countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is invaluable. A faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord shall find him. Okay, it says, whoso fears the Lord shall direct his friendship aright, for as he is, so shall his neighbor be also. Just like
Mm.
Bro Nakar said, you know, show me your five closest friends, and I will be able to tell you about yourself, you know. So a faithful friend, you know, is a brother, and that's a gift that you cannot take for granted, you know. So this fight, this brotherhood, you know, is something that we you know, we are very grateful about, you know, like-minded men.
Hey, I got a scripture out. This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 17. A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. So, like you said, yeah, there'll be friends there. They'll be there for you when the good times, but when the bad times comes, no one's there by yourself. But only a real friend will be there in your bad time, and that will become a brother. You know, a lot you could be up in the sky, you know, being the top, and then when you're down, you don't have no one there, and then you'll see who's your real friends and who are not. Who's gonna be there through your good and your bad, and who's only there through your good only. So again, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 17. A friend loveth at all times, and a brother is born for adversity.
Yeah, that's right, bro. It's in those situations that you, at your toughest point, you're gonna realize, you know, who your, you know, true friends who are gonna stick around, you know, who gonna, you know, help you out, you know, support you, you know. uh, let me
Facts.
also get one in Romans. You know, we just about ready to wrap it up, maybe a couple of more scriptures, but there's one in Romans chapter 12 verse 17. Okay, it says, uh, recompense to no man evil for evil, provide things honest in the sight of all men, if it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men. Okay, so even though we're not gonna be friends and trust the people in the world, we should try to also live peaceably among them and just stay cool because remember, be like Clark Kent. We are behind enemy lines, so just take it easy and wait for the return of Yahushua, and then with the spiritual powers, man, then it's our time to do our thing.
Khan, I got a quick precept because Brother Nakar brought the other one about loving your brother, stick closer than a brother. So, what is love, real quick? Love, John 14:15. If you love me, keep my commandments. You see that? So, how you show true love to a brother, man, is just keeping the commandments. So, you're not gonna let the brother go off. If he goes off, you're gonna rebuke him, like it tells you in Leviticus in the law. It's a sin not to rebuke your brother if he's going off. So you're supposed to rebuke. Okay, that's another form of love. Because hey, in this world, man, these worldly men, they see you go off, they're like, yeah, finally, look at him, he's falling. They're shaking their hands, and stuff like that. So they want to see you at your lowest. You see, but a man of the Lord, he sees you at your lowest. He's like, hey, what's going on, man? It's time to grow up. So that's an example of the difference between a man of the world and a man of the Lord.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So I also had this scripture, 1 Corinthians 7:31, and they that use this world as not abusing it, but the fashion of this world passeth away. So, of course, we we just understanding that this Babylon, system is winding down. Is nearing its end, and for the meanwhile, we just we're just using the world, but not abusing it. Okay, so there is some relationships that you have, some contacts. Let's say, for example, with your employer, okay, with your colleagues at work. You're not gonna be a fucking douchebag with them, okay? Start cursing them out, over some small little thing, go fucking buck wild. You're gonna be calm, letting things go as they are, and just waiting for the timing of Yahushai, so that at that point be able to be who we really are, in front of everyone, okay? But it doesn't mean that you should trust these people, your employers and your colleagues, and even the people that you work out, the dudes that you work out with in your gym. It's just Clark Kent. You're just there and keep it cool, and that's it.
Khan.
Yeah.
Keep it simple. Like Apostle Elder Gabar always has an acronym KISS. Yeah, you keep it simple. Jake. Be too deep.
Yeah, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah, Khan. Keep it simple, Khan. The water. Keep it simple, stupid. Because Jake be stubborn, man. At times. So it's good to always keep it simple, man. Move on.
Yeah. Also, one way you can say is keep it super simple. Yeah. Yeah, man. Brothers Gamar and Nakar, did you have anything more?
No.
That's it for that, Og. That's all I had on deck.
Can't. Hey, so we're getting ready to close it down. Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. And in closing, we want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushua, Bahasham, Kadash. Again, double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalom to the hopeful elect of the 12 tribes of Hebrew Israelites. Until the next one, Shalom.
Shalom.
Shalom.